Pretoria, South Africa, this is the final day that Nelson Mandela will lie in state. Tens of thousands of mourners are lining up to pay their respects to the country's first black president. Tomorrow, the flag-draped casket will be moved to Mandela's ancestral home of Qunu. He will be buried there after Sunday's funeral. Alan Pizzey is in there, where preparations are underway. Alan, good morning.
Good morning. Well, the view across the valley behind me is one of the scenes Nelson Mandela loved best. It's a place where he grew up and to which he returned as often as the demands on his time would permit. The stretch of road his funeral cortege will take to reach his home in Qunu is considered one of the most hazardous in the country, but tomorrow it will be closed to traffic for the occasion. South African military personnel and police arriving here to form the honor guard will eventually swell the number of people, including family and invited guests who will be at the funeral, to some 9,000. The general public will be kept well back, in part for security, but also at the request of the family, who want as much privacy as possible for an event that is as much public as it is personal. It will be held inside this enormous temporary dome being erected within sight of Mandela's house, where his coffin will stay on Saturday night, watched over by selected tribal elders as tradition dictates. The dirt road from the house to the funeral and gravesite runs for a little over half a mile and will be lined by soldiers at precise intervals. Mandela will be laid to rest not in a mausoleum or cathedral as most great leaders are, but on a rocky hillside. That's exactly the way he would want it, in the view of local artist Chris Nodangala.
He never forgot. He'd come down, he'd travel the world, and he'd always come back here.
In spite of his exalted position, Mandela never lavished money or attention here, and the Transkei remains a place of poverty, where even the vicious spring rains must be braved in order to eke out a living. Cattle are a mark of wealth here, and more than a few will be slaughtered in his honor. Elders of his tribal clan insist that even though he was baptized a Methodist, Mandela's absolute last rites must be the traditional ones. It's the only way, they say, that the spirits can accept his soul and he can rest in peace.